Welcome, everybody. It's really wonderful to have you here for this midwinter ritual. And I want to say a big welcome to our whole Earth activist team, Charles Williams, Mariah Master, who are here tonight with us, Sunshine Claymore, one of our student coordinators, who's also here. Brandy Mack will be coming in. Recorded. And Elizabeth Call is, I don't know if she's here tonight, but she is the one who does the graphics and the social media. And all of them are really important pieces of the Earth Activist Training puzzle. Um, Tonight, we're going to do a combination of ritual and what we hope is just a little inspiration because I don't know about you, but personally, I feel like I could use it right now. The world seems pretty bleak, and it's easy to feel hopeless and overwhelmed, and it is a good time, I think, to get a little sense of what people are actually doing to make the world a better place and to do a little meditation and seed planting of our own to create a brighter future. So we're going to begin with a land acknowledgement from sunshine and a grounding and create our sacred space.
Hamikoliapi, Chante Mawashte Nape Chiusapi, Mashte Unjijit Kaimachiapi, Na Iamoslaha Hemataha. I'm happy to be here. I welcome friends. I greet you with a heartfelt handshake. My name's Sunshine Rose, and I'm from Standing Rock in the Dakotas. As we think about our space where we are connected now, remember the people who claimed this territory before us today. Where I am now, it's Oceti Sakowin Nation, and our land is from Canada and are very wide. We migrate. And so this is the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota people, and ways that we can be supportive of our Indigenous friends through allyship, research our local Indigenous people, find out what they're working to protect, whether it be land or they protect their language, their culture, the elements that we all work to honor. There's ways to support through lobbying and policy change, using your privilege to help shift the bigger narrative in our culture for these people to have their voice uplifted. And I appreciate Earth activists working to create opportunity for diversity scholarships and those who may not always have access to this education. Thank you for bringing us here today, and we can work into our circle casting.
Thank you, Sunshine. I think Mariah is going to create our circle for us.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this evening. My name's Mariah. I'm the program administrator for EAT, and I'm going to open up the circle with everyone. So I want everyone to make a circle with their hands and look through it a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and envision that we're going to see everybody in our circle, far and wide, all around the world. And after we say hi and meet eyes with everybody in our circle, we're going to open our hands, reach them out to touch the edges of your screen. And let's take a moment and take a big breath and just envision and feel what it feels like to hold the hands of the people next to you. Our circle is now open. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Charles is going to ground us.
Welcome, everybody. It's great to see so many familiar faces. Hi. And let's feel our feet on the ground. Just feel them whatever it's touching. Maybe it's touching a rug or a floor or maybe the earth. Just feel it touching the ground somewhere. And just allow yourself to feel gravity. Can you feel the earth calling to you? Can you feel it inviting you to put down some roots? Let that invitation draw forth roots from your feet and invite them down to plant in the earth where you are right now. Feel those roots go down. Easy. We don't have to force it. You don't have to make it happen. We can just let it happen. We can let that invitation from the earth pull us down, putting our roots into the soil below us. Notice what it feels like, tastes like, smells like as you move through past sand and clay, silt and water, boulders and tree roots. You let your roots go down. And when you're settled here, can you draw up some energy of this place you call home today? Can you breathe it up? Invite it up. Let it rise like a spring bubbling up through your roots and into your legs, past your knees and hips. Can it fill up your belly? This energy of the earth? Can it bathe your heart? We feel our connection to place as it fills our shoulders and throat, jaw, face, our head. And when we're ready, can it sprout branches out into the world, unfurling leaves past walls, the roof, and windows? Can it reach out, collecting starlight, sunlight, wind, and water? Can we allow the heavens to enter, swirl through us, and go back to the earth? I invite you just to take a moment and see what it feels like to sit here between earth and sky. And give a little thank you to the earth below us, and a little thank you to the sky above us. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and give a thank you to the world around you. This amazing place we call home. Welcome, Grounded. Welcome here tonight.
Welcome. And thank you, Charles. That was beautiful. And into our circle, we like to honor the elements that sustain life. So, I'm thinking about my feather collection. Obstinate tonight. Thinking about the air. All those creatures that fly, our thoughts, our concepts. Thinking about that quality of what brings in something that is new, the seeds that we want to plant, how the seeds respond to air, to temperature. Some of them need warmth, some of them need coolness, some of them need coldness and warmth. It's amazing that a little tiny seed with no sensory organs we know of can respond so elegantly to temperature, to time, to darkness, to moisture. Take a breath and let's call in that ability to respond and call in the new ideas, the insights, the concepts, the inspiration that we need from the air. Welcome, air. Fire. I think about fire as energy, as passion. Fire that warms our hearth, fire that invites us in. Fire in the winter becomes our friend and our healer, our comfort, cooks our food. Fire is like that flame of inspiration. That reminds us to hope and to be renewed. Welcome, fire. Thank you, fire. And water. I have water here, sacred water. Water that comes from sacred places all over the world that we have been collecting in our rituals and offering as an offering to the land. The elders tell us water is sacred, water is life. And we know that water is one of those elements we need to live. I'd like to just take a breath right now and think about all the people in the world today who are stressed for water, who are without water, especially the folks in Gaza. And to bless this water and give thanks for the water and the incredible gift and privilege it is to have access to beautiful, clean water. It's part of the work that we do is to create a world where everyone will have access to water. And let us hope that some of the energy of this ritual can go towards those who don't have it now, so that we can help to quench their thirst. Welcome, water. Thank you, water. And finally, earth. So many things that represent earth. But today I have a pumpkin. That's part of our harvest. And the earth is so fruitful. It gives us food to eat. It gives us all the things that grow and live and run and fly. Again, we are so fortunate when we have enough, when we have plenty, when we have a good harvest. And blessing the earth and thanking the earth. May it strengthen our commitment for the work that we do to create a world where everyone has enough, where the plenty and the abundance of nature is shared and shared fully, and where food is not withheld from anyone. Welcome, Earth. Thank you, Earth. for spirit, I have some seeds. Little tiny seeds. I don't even know if you can see them. They're little artichoke seeds. I chose them because they're good to plant in the fall where I live. But I just invite you, if you have seeds, to pick them up, hold them in your hand, take a look at them. If you didn't physically bring seeds, you can imagine a seed. And just consider for a moment what's in this magic tiny package. A small, small thing containing all the information, all the instructions for a plant, for a flower, for a fruit, maybe for a tree. Think about time embedded in this seed. From the time of the past, of all the generations that have gone into cultivating and saving seeds, preserving them, breeding them, bringing them down through the generations. The seed is a gift of so many ancestors. And the seed spans the future. It is what we plant to recreate that thing that it came from, and maybe in a new form, to feed us in the future, to bring us abundance in the future. The seed is sacred, and the seed is spirit. Welcome, spirit. Blessed be. Well, some of you may be wondering why a seed blessing ritual in the middle of winter. If you live out here in Northern California, it's not such a mystery because this is actually a really good time for planting a lot of cool weather crops and cover crops. But if you live somewhere where it's all about to go under snow and ice, you may be wondering, it seems weird. However, there are a lot of seeds that need what's called stratification. They need to be a certain amount of cold in order to grow. And so I think it's a good time to bless some of those seeds and to think about the winter in a way as a time that we all experience some of that cold and some of that dark. And to contemplate how that could actually generate our growth and our healing and the inspiration for what might be planted and what might spring up anew when we get to the time of the waxing light and the warmth again. For us at Earth Activist Training, winter is a time we do a lot of teaching, often online, because people are home and it seems like a good time to do that. We're planting many, many seeds this year. We have a wonderful upcoming permaculture design course in person in January out here in western Sonoma County that we love to do in the middle of the winter here, because the middle of the winter is actually a great time for pruning, for planting bare root, for doing work in the woods. It's one of our busiest times of the year and the time when we can demonstrate a lot of some of the most important land tending skills and practices. We offer diversity scholarships for our programs, and you're going to hear from a couple of our alumni. And the reason we do that, in some ways, it's our way of making reparations. We can't totally undo all the damage of the past, but we can do something to help make these skills and tools available for the people and the communities who are really on the front lines of environmental and social justice struggles. And we've been doing this for, I think, almost 10 years now. And I think it's had a tremendous impact on the way that the permaculture and the regenerative movement looks in this part of the world. It also gives us a global reach where we have students now from India, from Uganda, from occupied territories of Palestine, from all over the world. And the way we do it is thanks to you. Thanks to your generosity donating tonight. Thanks to all the people who donated and continue to donate to our Diversity Scholarship Fund. It allows us to offer a Pay What You Can scholarship for our online programs and deep scholarship for our in-person programs. And I think that makes a tremendous difference in what we can accomplish in the world. So we are grateful for your participation tonight. Maybe Charles can put a link in where if you decide you want to donate a little extra, we can always use it. We also have a wonderful online auction that's happening where you can get your holiday gifts for your friends and help support our work. And now, to inspire you and give you a little sense of some of the results of all of this, let's hear from Sunshine.
Thank you, everybody. I'm happy again to share a little bit of how I've taken my learning from Earth Activist trainings and applied it to my community on Standing Rock. So I worked with the First Nations Development Institute. We were sub-awarded a USDA grant. And as I shared before, I'm from Standing Rock Reservation. I'm a community engagement specialist for the Health Circle outside of my support role for EAT. And we developed a program similar to our Earth Activist engagements. Just 1 minute. We have a TV on. I'm going to turn off. So these regional partnerships were across the state of North Dakota. We worked with the Spirit Lake tribe, who we were awarded this grant. And our reservation here, many people know us as water protectors from our camp in 2016. That was in the Cannonball district in Cannonball and along this Missouri River here. We have 8 districts on our reservation, and most of them are along the river, although a few of them are along tributaries in our communities. But we do have a deep connection to this waterway, as many people know. So we work to create partnership with organizations on our reservation to identify the food systems and who's doing what around food for our community. So some of these included like our tribal aging and community services. We have elderly nutrition. So I helped with our project to install a garden behind there so we can have food grown for our elders in the neighborhood, and a couple other nonprofits, our tribal colleges, extensions from universities, and all these work together for us to develop these access by our Utecha Land Steward Project. Utecha means to restore. And so we have master apprenticeship where our youth learn from elders through cultural experiences and engagements and ceremony. And the elders will share their skills in gardening and processing, preserving the food that they cultivate, as well as foraging our wild food that offers nutrition for us. They go into schools, they teach about preserving our food. They make, we have what's called wasna, dried meat and dried fruit that we pound together. And so they'll do those activities in the classrooms. I have shorter videos, but I know we're short for time. And this is a map that I created to help share more of the project. It's hard to see in the screenshot, but if I go to this interactive impact map, I can share how our land stewards, even though they're individuals in the community, they are doing a lot of unique work with our natural first aid, community engagement, seasonal food systems, animal processing. And so the yellow circles are how I can hover over the individual and see how they interacted with our community and what they did. Maybe they harvested choke cherries or plums, they created a compost system. Some people were working on waste reduction and clothing drives. But basically, this is how we're using principles of permaculture, but actually implying it to youth engagement and then creating a network of impact. As I mentioned, we're doing community buffalo butcherings, and so in these experiences, we can have like anywhere like up to 60 kids at a time helping us process meat, preserve it, and then distribute it. We'll often just distribute the fresh meat immediately, but then also dehydrate it and make bone broths and soups that we can distribute in our community. Oops, sorry. And education is the important part of it, because I've planted a lot of trees, and they've a lot of times have been mowed due to humans. So if we educate the kids, then maybe some of that will be prevented in the future. But the important thing is educating around food cooking, processing, preservation, getting the youth involved as much as possible, making it a fun new experience for them so that they're using project-based learning to develop their cultural connection and identity, and also developing coalitions through teepee raising. There's a lot of decision making and things that we can learn through that process, but we've even had like teen a treat for our elders, where the youth can sit down and hear how elders gardened in the past. Those are some ideas that our land stewards had for engagement. And basically, it's been exciting. There's been a lot of challenges. I recently had one of my gardens taken away from me just this week, and so we're going to start again next season. But I look forward to continuing the process and my learning with this organization. And I appreciate Earth Activists and activating my confidence to know that I can share this knowledge with my community too.
Thank you so much, Sunshine. It's always such an inspiration to hear what you're doing. And yeah, I'm just, I was at Standing Rock in 2016 over Thanksgiving holiday. And I really wished I could have been there longer, and I really, really wished I could have done more. And I feel like so grateful to you for all that you're doing. And I feel like it kind of extends a little bit for me what I would have liked to do. And I can live vicariously through you.
We definitely feel it, Star. We appreciate you.
Yeah. I think we probably have a couple minutes if there's questions or something people wants to post in the chat. We're doing good on time for once at the moment.
I can share the garden was taken away because I didn't have permission from a church to tend the land indefinitely. And just this week, they withdrew my permission to tend that land and said that I'm no longer able to take care of that garden. It was 3 years that I was working on that garden with the youth to convert it to a perennial food system, but it was a challenge. And now I'm going to have to move on and see what else we can do in other places.
That happens, but it's a long process of education, and sometimes, sometimes you have to take a step back to move forward. Great. Well, I think it's time to hear a little bit from one of our other students, Brandy Mack. At one point, Earth Activist Training was working very closely with an organization in inner city San Francisco called Bayview Hunters Point. That's in the mostly Black community in San Francisco. And they finally hired a garden coordinator who turned out to be an absolutely awesome organizer. And that's Brandy, who you're going to hear from now. She just did so many inspiring things with the girls, with the gardens, bringing in cooking, taking them on camping trips, taking them up to our land to, camp out and get connected to the earth, linking them up with an organization called Brown Girls Surf, where they went surfing, just things that they would never have experienced otherwise. And we also were able to give her scholarships to our programs and some of her students and allies scholarships. And she's just gone off to do some awesome stuff. So let's hear from her. I'm not hearing it, Charles. I don't know why.
We'll try it again here, see if we can get the sound working.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been working on what it means to be a good companion crop as a human. Let me say that, a human being in the planet. I'm very grateful to have co-founded a nonprofit organization, the Butterfly Movement. We work with Black women and girls from soul to seed to soil. Our soul work, our circles, personal development, rites of passage, in nature, supporting personal development with those circles. Our seed work is incubating and supporting young women in their food industry, small business and incubation. And so we support them, again, from seed all the way through distribution in different phases. And so that's a wonderful work I have co-founded and really ushering to the next generation at this moment, succession. One of the most important things, the organization was founded based on me being a mother of 3 beautiful melanated magical daughters, who I wanted them to know that they were connected to this larger thing. And so really that's the impetus of the Butterfly Movement. And of course, with the 3, there were many. And we have chapters across the nation. We are preparing for our 20-year camp reunion in Waterville, Michigan. Camp Butterfly. And so we're excited to get together with the mamas and the aunties and from across the nation who got together, over 20 years ago and said, what does camp look like for Black girls? And what does nature and that relationship look like based on the experience in this country? And so we're excited to be a host of Camp Butterfly, and we're excited to kind of continue with the Butterfly Movement all over the planet and providing different opportunities for Black mamas and daughters all over. That's been one of the bigger, the grounding foundation work that pushes me into the deeper work of policy. I always like to tell folks, I guess I work at these edges of policy, places, and programs on the planet. And I had the beautiful opportunity to be a part of the founding group of humans that founded the California Farmer Justice Collaborative. And it's a collaborative really led by farmers. There's several different organizations, and myself and another fellow land tender, Brother Knoke, and several others are a part of this California Farmer Justice Collaborative. We passed a Farmers Equity Act 7 years ago, and that Equity Act has now mimicked out and been a part of 30 different laws and shifts in equity that are now allowing for funds to be released to Black and brown land tenders throughout the state of California. And so we continue to steward this California Farmer Justice Collaborative and think about what is that succession of what does it look like for farmers to actually be at the table of policy. We're designing the policy and stewarding what that looks like, and not necessarily just an agency. So that's been a beautiful journey. We're continuing that collaborative. We're excited to have a coordinator. Again, the farmers kind of got together and collaborated. There was no funding. We said enough is enough. And then now there's an actual coordinator, a person with a role who's coordinating all of us throughout the state. So that feels really great to watch an initiative, an idea turn into a bill, into a policy, and then have a coordinator and a whole thingy thing happening there. So that feels really great. I also want to share energy democracy. What's our energy? What's our relationship to energy? That everything that I share with you, all the stuff I'm in cahoots to, are all things that are recipes for a transition that's just for all the peoples. And so, when we think about our energy, what does that look like for us? And so I'm excited to be a part of a Energy Democracy Project, which is a collaborative of amazing humans across the nation who are asking that question, who are producing zines and playbooks to give to community as we think about this just transition, this energy, this renewable thing. What does that really look like in relationship to mama? Yeah, and so excited there. We had just had our second convening in person in Boston. It was a beautiful convening of several different eco-humans thinking about our energy and how important it is, and how are we in relationship to it, and what are ways that the people can interact with it that is not extractive, in a way that's not giving back. So those are, like, I think the big, larger things I'm in cahoots up to. In adjacent to, and I'll say lastly, I'd be remiss if I would just say there's a picture behind me, and this is a table. Maybe I'll jump to the side. You can see the whole table. I have to move out of the way of the picture. There
Oh,
we go.
nice.
See that table there? I have the pleasure to direct the engagement and design at Designing Justice, Designing Spaces. It is an architecture and development abolition firm looking to unbuild racism in the built environment, meaning that as we shut down jails and infrastructure that's been used to cause harm, what else should we be building? Who should we be building for? Who should be the designers? And so the table that I just shared is a table that was designed by a group of youth who are a part of an organization called Develop Despite Distance. And these youth have one thing in common: their parents are incarcerated. And they, again, have shared with me, Sister B, we have been social distanced before social distancing to our families. And working with these youth and another group of what we call our community activators in Detroit, Michigan, we decided that we needed to design a table that we would invite the community to come have a seat at the table. So these young men actually designed this table. We prototyped it, and then we built this table on land that we are stewarding in Detroit, Michigan. And we hosted a circle conversation at the table that they built. And we asked the question to community: how can we support our youth whose families are incarcerated? As we all understand that when I say ended mass incarceration through the built environment, I often have to get the context, because we know context is everything. We are in a country that we went from slavery to mass incarceration as a means for economic stimulation. And so if we don't see the connection, then that's the context I always like to set when folks say, what do you mean unbuild it? So when we think about the carceral system right now, most humans are there based on bail money that they cannot pay to be released, not because of any quote unquote crime. So we're dealing with folks who are locked up because of poverty. So it's the intention of designing justice, designing spaces to work with community builders who are beginning to reimagine justice and say, what does justice look like in public infrastructure? Doesn't look like the bail bonds office anymore or the courthouse. It looks like the healing center. It looks like the transformative justice campus where folks are able to go and be and feel and do together in the commons is what it looks like. So it's exciting to work with a group of technical architects and developers to think about how do we design a world that really works for everybody, and particularly for Mama, who's really been here. And when I refer to Mama, I hope everybody knows I'm saying Mother Nature, all encompassing mother who takes care of all of us. How are we in good relations? So it's been exciting to work with all kind of communities all across the world, thinking about how we can co-create a world that works together.
It's amazing. I'm always inspired to hear about what you're doing. Like, I feel like our paths kind of bump, and every time I bump into you, you're doing these amazing, amazing world-changing things. It's great to see them bloom out. And so, the last question I'd have for you is, people who are watching this either live or recorded, what can they do to support some of the work you're doing, whether directly support it or indirectly support some of the efforts that you're working on right now?
Well, give thanks. The butterflymovement.com, always receiving donations to support Black mamas and daughters to further themselves. The indirect thing is for all of us to go within ourselves and do that personal work so that we can be in community in a way that allows us to be generative together. That's the indirect support. I ask that we all remember that we're connected, that the mycelium network is real. I know that we've created different constructs and different regions, but we are connected. So the indirect ask is for us all to remember that we are connected in total honesty. And yeah, and I would just say, reach out to the Butterfly Movement and check out all of the works there. Most of the things I talked about are on the Butterfly Movement's webpage. And so information can be found out there, and connect with us, and folks can come and volunteer. We have so many opportunities in different community gardens, from Deep East Oakland down to Fresno, California, where we're working with Mama. So we're working a nice swath of the state of California right now to help elevate ourselves and get back in touch.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Well, thank you, Brandy. Thank you, Charles, for doing the interview. I'm always so amazed. Like, I think if there's an avatar for Mother Nature, it's got to be Brandy. She's like a force of nature herself. So that's a little taste of what some of our students are doing. You know, we have so many different programs and so many different projects going on around the world. You know, we have a student in Uganda who's part of a community of Ugandan Jews, a very interesting community I had never heard of until one of our students brought Seth into our courses. There was a warlord who converted 100 years ago, and they've been practicing Judaism ever since. And we've been able to connect them up with groups that help fundraise to get them water tanks so that the girls in the community no longer have to miss school to go haul water. We have a wonderful group that started a intentional community in their traditional lands in Jamaica and gone back, and they're doing a beautiful community garden there. We teach in-person courses generally every summer up at a wonderful eco-village in British Columbia called OUR Eco Village. And they have a very beautiful connection with the local Cowichan tribes. For the last few years, they've been supporting a sacred walk that happens around the same time as our course. And this last year, they also had a major, like, convocation of tribes from all over. And as part of our courses, our students always do a design project. And for the last couple of years, they've been able to work with people on the reserve to plant a food forest. This year, they were working on designing a second food forest and a memorial garden for one of the elders whose husband had passed in the previous year. There's just so many inspiring things that are happening. And, you know, when I get ground down by looking at the news and horrified by what's happening in Gaza and in Palestine and in Israel and in other places and in Ukraine and the horrors of the war and the destruction, I find it really helpful to come back and go, oh, but all over the world there are ordinary people getting together and doing constructive and beautiful and regenerative things. So I'd like to lead us on a little bit of a meditation right now. So you might want to hold your seeds and get comfy. And just take some deep breaths in and out. And just let yourself really feel that seed. Or again, if you don't physically have one in front of you, imagine what a seed represents. You know, a seed is maybe primarily information, instructions. Tells a plant how to grow. How to form up a body, how to push down roots, how to push up a shoot. It contains within it everything that plant will need to grow and flower and fruit and produce new seeds. If you think for a moment about what a miracle it is, it's such a tiny package, can include so much. And then as you take a breath, you might think for a bit about what some of the seeds are that you would like to plant this year. What would you like to see grow in your own life? What would you like to see grow and flourish in your community? What would you like to see grow and flourish in the world? And what is the information? What are the instructions that thing will need to grow? Are you providing them in the seed, or are you simply opening, watching, listening, waiting for them to come to you? Just take a breath and let yourself just believe that the instructions are there for us all. And at some deep level, when we need to know what to do, we will know what to do, just as the seed knows how to grow. Just as your own body knew how to form from the seed that it began as. We are sweet water, we are the seed, we are the storm wind to blow away greed. We are the new world we bring to birth, a river rising to reclaim the earth. As you take a deep breath and you continue to explore your seed and feel your seed, you might consider another thing that a seed contains, and that is nourishment. It contains what that plant needs to begin its growth. So if you take a breath and you think about what it is you want to plant, how will you nourish it? How will you feed the seed? With attention, with energy, and how will you be nourished as you do this work of planting and tending? What resources do you need? And where might they come from? And take a breath and let yourself believe that the nourishment is there for us, that the universe does provide it. And that if we open up and breathe in, if we align ourselves with the work of planting and tending and regenerating, we can draw in what we need to nourish ourselves, and we have a right and a responsibility to care for ourselves, to regenerate ourselves. We are sweet water, we are the seed, we are the storm wind to blow away greed. We are the new world we bring to birth, a river rising to reclaim the earth. And taking a breath again, let yourself consider what else is there in that seed, that incredible sensitivity to timing, that protective coating that sometimes needs the cold and the stress to wear it away so that the seed can germinate. Some seeds actually need to be scraped or pounded or go through the guts of a bird. They need disturbance. They need a little bit of like harsh treatment. And some seeds just need some gentle sunlight and warmth and rain. But let yourself think about what your seeds need right now and what you might need. And if you feel like you're getting a little bit of that cold and heat, that stratification and scarification, that distress, just take a breath. And ask yourself how that might be helping to wear away something that needs to give way for something new to grow. We are sweet water, we are the seed, we are the storm wind to blow away greed. We are the new world we bring to birth, a river rising to reclaim the earth. And take a breath now and just bless your seed and thank your seed. And just consider how you might plant seeds in this coming year and tend them and nourish them. And then as the drum fades away, let's bring ourselves back. Back into your physical body. Let's take 3 deep breaths, breathing in and out, and in and out, and in and out. As you breathe out, you can pat the edges of your physical body. Say your name out loud, Starhawk. Clap your hands 3 times. And that's the end of the story. Or maybe it's the beginning of the story. So just take a breath or two and maybe sit with that. And I'm going to ask Charles to put us into some smaller groups to give you a little bit of a chance to share what seeds you might be planting and what you might want to call in to help you with your work of what you're planting and tending. And my suggestion for how we do this is to give each person a protected time to talk of 1 to 2 minutes without being interrupted or questioned or challenged. And when they're done, you can hold up your hands and your group can say to you, "We bless your seed planting hands." So we bless your seed planting hands, or whatever else you want to say. Okay, and we'll have about 10 minutes to do this. So then we'll come back and we'll do a collective power raising for our seeds. So take us away, Charles.
If people need interpreters, they should stay in the main room or come back to the main room. And if you, for some reason, can't be part of a group, you don't have to join the room. You can stay in the main room or just shut your camera off and do what you need to do. So here we go.
Hello.
Welcome back, everybody. Wonderful. And I hope that went well and was nourishing for you all. And what I want to encourage you to do now is hold up your seeds. And if you like, you can turn your camera on and put yourself on gallery view if you don't need the spotlight of the interpreters. And we're going to sing the verse I put in the chat slightly ineptly, but it's there. It's very simple. It's if you want to know where true power lies, turn and look into each other's eyes. And you can mute if you want to sing along in rhythm, or you can unmute if you just want to have a glorious cacophony. But we're going to bless those seeds and bless each other's power and look into each other's eyes. And you can flip through the screens and just make a little virtual eye contact with everybody here. And think about taking that energy in and infusing the seeds that you're going to plant. We are sweet water, we are the seed, we are the storm wind to blow away greed, we are the new world we bring to birth, river rising to reclaim the earth. And if you want to know where true power lies, turn and look into each other's eyes. And if you want to know where true power lies, turn and look into each other's eyes. And if you want to know where true power lies, turn and look into each other's eyes. And if you want to know where power lies, turn and look to each other's eyes. We are sweet water, we are the sea, we are storm wind to blow away greed, we are the new world we bring to birth, a river rising to reclaim the earth. If you want to know where true power lies, turn and look into each other's eyes. And if you want to know where true power lies, then look into each other's eyes. We are sweet water, we are the sea, we are the storm wind, blow away greed, we are the new world we bring to birth, river rising to reclaim the earth. And if you want to know where true power lies, turn and look into each other's eyes. You want to know where true power lies, turn and look into each other's eyes. We are sweet water, we are the seed, we are the storm wind to blow away greed, we are the new world we bring to birth, a river rising to reclaim the earth. And just take a breath and let some of this energy go into your seeds with a big tone, like oh. And take a breath and breathe some of that in. Take it into your blessed seed planting hands. And may you find all the resources and all the support and all the luck you need to plant those seeds and nourish them and help them to grow. And blessed be. Thank you all. Well, we are coming now toward the end of our time together. We have a couple of moments. If there's something you would like to put in the chat or express or raise a hand, maybe even say to the group, I think we've got a few moments we can do that in. It's always nice to hear from the people who are here. I see some old friends I haven't seen in a long time. It's great.
I don't know how to do a hand raise, but it's L'Oreal Golden Hawk. You can't see my face right now. I'm starting a music production company. I'm going to invite you to be a visionary speaker, Starhawk. The music production group will be called Timeless Sound. We're producing an ongoing series to be known as Concerts for the Trees. These will raise enough love and money to purchase and permanently protect our last 3% of ancient pristine redwood forests and the oak woodlands in Sonoma County where I live. We're raising money for our Ancient Forest Protection Fund. About 3/4 of the time of the concerts will be music and a quarter will be visionary speakers, just like you, Starhawk. Yeah, you could appear by Zoom. You're in Cazadero, I'm Sebastian. You could, we don't have to be burning fossil fuel at all. And for the when this really takes hold, we'll be inviting Barbara Streisand, Carole King, Paul Simon, all to appear by Zoom. No more raping the mother of her oil, of her blood. So I want everyone to get my contact, and it's Sequoia Rising at sonic.net. Sequoia Rising at sonic.net.
Well, thank you, L'Oreal. That sounds
Yeah.
like a great project, and you can reach me through the Earth Activist Training website or through starhawk.org. And
Great, I
I'd
will.
love to speak at that. Anyone else have something you'd like to share? We've put in the chat some of our upcoming courses, which we have. And of course, I always love teaching an in-person course. As nice as it is to do things online, and it does give us a chance to truly have a global reach, but there's something about actually being face to face with people, having those moments in between when you hang out and go out to lunch or take a walk in the woods. That's just priceless. And that course is coming up in January in Cazadero Hills, the 6th through the 21st, I believe. Don't worry about chewing. I think by this time we're always used to the Zoom of seeing people doing odd things. Yes.
We need to get you out to New Mexico again.
Oh yeah, I haven't been out there in ages.
I know. I'll talk to some people, see what we can come up with.
Great. Yeah, with COVID kind of waning finally, I'm starting to travel some more. And it's exciting to get out there again and see people.
Our events are really safe too. We have, even at our Samhain event, we had a table for people that was outside, away from people going inside. And then they got to serve themselves first.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we do all kinds of safety measures.
Hello, everybody. We are Amelie and Flo, and we just wanted to say thank you for this beautiful ritual. And if anybody of you has connections to New Zealand or Australia, because we are right here in Australia, we would love to contribute in a regenerative project over there, down under. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot going on in Australia because Australia is really where permaculture started. So there's quite a number of wonderful projects and things going on down there. and New Zealand too. Well, I would like to just again say thank you to you all for supporting our diversity scholarship funds. And again, check out our auction, our online auction, because there's lots of wonderful things there and gifts that it is that holiday season, and that all helps support raising money to be able to provide spaces for people to learn the regenerative skills and then take them out and do incredible things like we've seen from Sunshine and Brandy and so many other people are doing around the world. If you feel inclined to donate, again, you can go to earthactivisttraining.org and donate on our donate page. If you are in a position to sign up and become a regular monthly donor, that really helps us tremendously, even if it's a small amount, because it allows us to plan and to have some kind of a little bit of an income we can count on for all of this work. And I want to say a big thank you also to our whole Earth Activist team, to Elizabeth, who does all of the graphics and the social media, to Mariah, who's our student coordinator, to Sunshine, who's the coordinator for our advanced program, which I didn't even tell you about, but if you've already done a permaculture design course, we have a multi-year diploma program that you can do, partly online and partly in person and partly through internships and apprenticeships where you live, to earn a permaculture diploma in regenerative land management and develop all the spectrum of skills that you need to take a piece of land and bring it back to health and life. So check that out. That's also on our webpage. And of course, a huge thank you. Did I say that Sunshine's our coordinator for that? She is. And a huge thank you to Charles, who does not only so much brilliant teaching and consulting, but so much of the behind the scenes administrative work that makes this all happen. And thank you to Spirit and to the seed and the sacred seed. Thank you to Earth and the nourishment that you provide. Thank you to water. May all people have access to clean and free and pure water. Thank you to fire, that comfort in the winter, energy that drives us. Thank you to air, that concepts, those ideas, that freshness, that something new that's coming into the world. And thank you to all of you for being part of this community.
And thank you, Starhawk. A resounding thank you to you for all that you bring. It's amazing.
Yeah. And now, the deep breath, our circle is open but unbroken. May the peace and the regeneration of the goddess, or however you like to think of that great spirit, may that go in your hearts. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. Sherry, you wanted to say something. Go for
No,
it.
that was a click in the wrong place. I was trying to send a heart to all of you.
Well, since you're on, I don't think I even mentioned that we also have a group of Afghan refugees who do permaculture that we have been working and have gotten resettled in Portugal and Spain, and we'll be doing a permaculture course for them this summer over there in Spain. So,
You might want to add that it's right on the Camino for anyone who's been tempted to walk the Camino, Santiago de Compostela. This would be an added encouragement because the course that Starhawk is trying to set up will be right on the Camino, close to Santiago. Inshallah.
yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. And Charles, you got some music to play us out with?